Hello and welcome to the Hold All Tickets World Pool Preview for FWD Champions Day this Sunday at Sha Tin. Of course, bet with the World Pool. I'm your host, Alex Donnelly, joined once again here at Sha Tin by Square on the Airs Tom Marriott. Tom, I'm not complaining that we're back here again, mate.
Yeah, thanks for having us back. Expended some energy at Happy Valley last night, but very much looking forward to Sunday. Two world beaters on the show and some fantastic action, particularly the QE2 Cup, which we'll get into in a bit.
Of course, we do have the three Group 1s this weekend, but as said, races 5, 7 and 9 this weekend at Sha Tin are World Pool races. So we know what we're going to get with Car Ying Rising. It's going to be $1.01. We're going to get that. You get your $1.04 in the end, but we'll get some prices, I think, in the mile. And then there's just this interest in this QE2 Cup. Masquerade Ball, we'll touch on it later, but he's been talked up. But just I suppose as an overview this week, we've been here every morning with track work and we're going to get some international flavour from you. Just sort of, there's a couple of Europeans that we don't know a lot about and one in Royal Champion that we know a bit about.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know a bit about Royal Champion, and he gave a pretty good account of himself in Saudi last time. I'm sure we'll come on to that race in a bit more detail. But you've got him. He's potentially at his career best sort of form at the moment. You've got Comanche Brave coming from Ireland. We've got Sosi challenging from France as well. And Docklands, of course, he's making his third trip there. So plenty of interest European-wise.
If I come back in a future life as a horse, I want to be Docklands, travel around the world, have a race or two, and then, you just pop off in front of the king and queen as well. Like, it's not a bad life.
And he might have something to do at stud, you mentioned earlier as well.
Yes, there's a few studs sniffing around here this week, but let's get into the racing. 3 races to preview this weekend. Race number 5, which is 4:35 Australian Eastern Time on a Sunday afternoon. Car Ying Rising, we've just had the barrier draw. He's going for 20 in a row. David Hayes said, well, he's probably improved again. Broke a track record last start. We'll take a look at the replay now and we can sort of just have a chat through it. He's just sitting off John Sizer's horse there, pops off around the bend, and it's just like, oh yeah. And then he broke the track record.
Yeah, there's nothing to it really, is there now? I mean, we're just going to stand here, we're going to watch, we're going to admire, hope that he comes home safe and sound. And really, I know, we're trying to tip horses and be analytical, but there isn't much to be analytical about, but say he's fantastic and hopefully he does the same again.
Like, look at this. Zach just opens him up for 3 or 4 strides.
Bounces away.
And he's put 6 on them, and Helios Express finally gets clear late and charges on into a clear
look
second.
at the pack behind.
Yeah, but look at how clearly Helios Express has beaten them of the clear run. And so the barrier draws just happened, just a small select field of the 8 horses here. Helios Express drawn in 6, and Satono Rev, we'll throw the photo up now where you've taken it this morning. He's thrown his shoe, you've picked it up, and we've got it's a big concussion plate.
Yeah, if there's one thing, Satono Rev will only have 3 shoes. No, he'll have to get that sorted ahead. But big old bit of rubber on there, and pulled that off this morning. Hopefully he'll get that sorted out. But latest from the track this morning, no shoe for Satono Rev.
I was about to say no stone left unturned, but it's no shoe left unturned here. But he's going to win. We've got to figure out who's going to run second and third because obviously, we're trying to have a bet here. So Car Ying Rising wins. Does it look as obvious as Helios Express runs second? And geez, you wish Fast Network, he would have much rather draw 8 than 2.
Well, yes, agreed. Although with that size of field, it probably isn't going to be the biggest sort of issue in the world. I'd probably still just take a 3-shoed horse in Satono Rev to chase him home again. He does have good Group 1 form. He is a class animal from Japan, and on his best, he should be in the mix. He
was a Group 1 winner last start as well, of course, but we'll go and touch on the other races. I think there's a lot more sort of meat on the bone there because race number 7 is the Champions Mile over the 1,600 metres. And we're going to take a look at a couple of replays here because we've got some really interesting horses. Jantar Mantar. He's a flashy-looking colt. You don't miss him at track work every morning. We've got his replay, his last start in the Mile Championship here. Docklands is in this race too in the OTI colours. Mark Zahra reunites with him again. But once Jantar Mantar, out there in the middle, number 15 in the orange cap, just picks up and just careers away from them. Like a 4-time Group 1 winner over a mile too. He didn't show us his best when he came here sort of 18 months ago. But geez, he looks good on the track in the mornings.
Yeah, I think with that 18 months ago, he kind of got banged around a little bit of a rough race for him, and comes in now as a 5-year-old, a bit more streetwise, a bit more hardened. Certainly a better horse. I think he went off 9-1 that day back in 2024, and he won't be that kind of price, but deservedly so. He's more streetwise, he's stronger, he's probably filled out. He looks a solid chance. Yeah,
he's drawn well in barrier 6. So we've got a couple of replays that we're going to look at here. The next of which has been the main lead up for this, which is the Chairman's Trophy. We've got Lucky Swainess, who sat 3 wide here. You've got Red Line, Chang Chang Glory, Voyage Bubble, My Wish. They're all in this race. Sunlight Power out the back as well, and even Cap Farrar. My Wish gets held up for a couple of strides here, but Lucky Swainess did it tough here, and I think the main thing to take out of this race is Voyage Bubble.
Do you think?
I think he might be gone for the season.
Okay.
He gets sprinted away from these 2 horses here, and even Cap Farrar's getting ground on him later. Just
Yeah, Kaffer Up does tend to close late. The thing I'll take from that, My Wish got the perfect trip. Huey gave him really settled ride, really nice. And it looks, if you watch that, you'd be one of those punters who goes, oh, on another day that might have got nod. But for me, no. He got the perfect trip. He did everything right. Just couldn't quite peg back Lucky Sweynesse, who's been a bit of a revelation up in trip. And he actually proves that he stays. Yeah. So Lucky Sweynesse deserves to win that race and could repeat. Well,
he's by Sweynesse, who was a 2,000 metre group winner in Australia as well. Right. So the fact that he's getting over a mile is probably what he was always meant to do. And he's drawn well in barrier 4 here. We didn't mention Jantar Mantar in barrier 6. And the other replay, the 4-year-olds, they come into this. So we're going back to January with the Classic Mile here, where Invincible Ibis, who ended up winning the Derby, gets James McDonald on Sunday. He's the widest of all here. Then you got Little Paradise strung up there with them. Zach Purton jumps on board here for Vincent Ho. He should have won this by 100 yards. Invincible Ibis started favourite in this race, had to make the wide careering run around him, and here's Little Paradise over heels going bang.
Yeah, absolutely. Little Paradise has probably got a lot more to show and a lot more to come. Look at that, the finishing kick there. I mean, some of these horses are kind of crying out for further in time, 2,000 metres, but for him, this kind of step back to the mile could be exactly what's cut out for him. I thought Stormy Grove as well might be interesting. Yeah. Might be able to run down late. But
well, that's if he gets a run, because we've also had he's a standby runner at the moment. We've got some vet issues around with Voyage Bubble and Sunlight Power. They've both got capped elbows. They're going to get checked out Friday and Saturday. But I think you need 2 scratchings for Sunlight Power to get for Stormy Grove to get in, and it's a bit stiff. He's a Classic Mile winner, Classic Cup winner, and he hasn't got a run.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? What I understand about these capped elbows is ultimately they aren't overly painful. No. It's more of a sack of liquid that kind of builds up under a bit of stress. Nothing too much to worry about. But if they do come out, Stormy Grove could be a run.
And Jantar Mantar's probably going to go off favourite in this race, but I've got a feeling that the market on the day will come for Little Paradise. I reckon. No luck in the Classic Cup. Didn't run the Derby. Didn't run the trip out. Back to a mile. He's got a big figure on his name there, and I reckon they'll hone in on that. He's drawn barrier 2 for Zach, and if he can get him out of the gates, I can see him starting single figures.
Yeah, and I think My Wish, for example, just to kind of bring in the other way the market will form. My Wish has a bit more proof to his form, and I think
he's rock solid.
Exactly, he's rock solid. Whereas your horse there, I'd imagine there'll be a bit of value about him. You won't catch him at that kind of price again if he runs in the frame. So worthy bet.
So where are you leaning here? Because we haven't mentioned Docklands has drawn barrier 1 as well. You've got Strauss, who's well travelled. He's been out to Australia, ran in the Russell Balding last year, finished 6th there. I want to be with Jantar Mantar. I just think that he gets the right setup here. I know he's got to travel, and I know he's first up for the season, but I just think he's got the upside that some of these horses don't. We don't know how good he is yet.
I'm going to be with Jantar Mantar as well. Yeah, I mean, I just feel that he got knocked around here in 2024. He's a stronger, more streetwise horse, like I say, and he has the proven proper Group 1 form. Touch on Docklands, just because you mentioned it, the problem with him, that track's round and he likes a straight one. So you need to straighten up that track if we're going to be with Docklands. But look, he ran his heart out 85-1 here in December. If he does that again, he might not be far away, but he won't be winning this.
He gets the right run once again. Like he's been a great horse for his own. He's get a good cheer. He'll run top 5 for sure, I reckon.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Race 9. It is the main event. It is the QE2 Cup, 2,000 metres, Group 1. It is race 9 on the card, 4:55 p.m. here in Hong Kong, 6:55 back in Australia. What time's that in London? About 8, 9 a.m.
We're 7 back. Yeah. So somebody do the maths there, but 7 back. Yeah.
Okay. So nice and early with your coffees over there in the morning. This is Romantic Warrior up against Masquerade Ball, and then we're saying that with no disrespect to Sosi, who's the last start Hong Kong Bars winner. But let's take a look at the Warrior winning at his last run. He takes care of them again over the 2,000 metres. You've got Voyage Bubble and My Wish in this, and it's just too easy. He's just an absolute machine. Danny Shum this morning said he's a super legend, which I think pretty apt. I think he is one of the great horses that Hong Kong has ever seen, given what he has done around the world. And
the thing is that this piece of form, what we're watching here, this isn't the race that makes him a super legend, right? No. The super legend races are where he's come off the canvas, he's fought hard, and he's proven that. And he will have that battle on Sunday. Yeah. This was great to see him in such fine form as he ages, having his 30th race on Sunday, but he's certainly not getting any worse, so he deserves his spot at the top.
Your super legend is going to Dubai, winning there, going down a lip in the Saudi Cup, winning a Cox Plate, winning a Yasuda Kinnan. There's your super legend. But he's arguably in the best form of his career. This is the toughest race he's had since that Saudi Cup, because we're going to roll a replay here now, which is the last start run of Masquerade Ball in the Japan Cup. So Masquerade Ball is the big baldy face thing. That's Calandigan, who I would say is the best horse. I would say is the best horse in the world outside of him. And they match motors for 400 metres here down the Tokyo Straight. If he's serious and ready to go first up, he can win.
At this trip?
He was a winner at the Tenno show over 2,000 metres the start prior to this and smashed them.
Yeah, this is the thing.
He's beaten on the line.
Yeah, I mean, I watched that Tenno show as well, and as you say, that was over this trip. He is a kind of a leggy animal.
Yeah.
Looks a little bit scratchy, but give him his due. When he gallops and he stretches out, he does have a very impressive stride. Whether that's going to be more impressive over the mile 4 than the mile 2, I think is arguable. I think he is a serious challenger, though. But this is a serious challenge for Romantic Warrior. It's not like one rolls up, we quite like it. This is a serious challenge.
Yeah. Christophe Lemaire said it during the week, and he said it on Nick Luck's podcast, that this horse has the potential to be one of the best Japanese horses of all time. He's ridden Equinox, he's ridden Almond Eye in recent years. That's a big statement.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, as I said, the mile 4 is probably where we're going to see him at his best. I actually think something like the Arc de Triomphe in October, I'm hoping, Japan finally break their duck there. But yes, 10 furlongs is doable. Yes, he's done it in the Tenno show. Can he do it against a 10 furlong specialist like Romantic Warrior, who's absolute top grade? It's a question, but it'd be fun to see.
And we know how this race will play out. Numbers has drawn barrier 4. He's going to go forward. Sosi from barrier 2 is probably going to land behind him on the fence. And Romantic Warrior has drawn 5. And Christophe Lemaire probably pretty happy drawing barrier 6 because you just park on Romantic Warrior. And if you can be on his hindquarters on the turn and run him down, so be it. Because I don't know if you'd want to be ahead of him. No,
I don't think you would. As I say, as his stride stretches out, he's the kind of horse that wants to gobble one up. Yeah, he wants to get going late and use that stride late, and it could well happen. But we've seen it so many times. Romantic Warrior just battles and battles.
Let's get past Sosi.
I think it's going to be a ding dong between those two. I'm not sure Sosi has the toe really. I know I've just talked about Masquerade Ball being a mile 4 horse. Sosi definitely is for me. I wouldn't actually put him in the frame despite him being a good Hong Kong Vase winner. I'd rather have Royal Champion, who's the 2,000 metre horse for me.
And that was the thing I wanted to ask about Sosi, because obviously he was a first up winner this time last year over in France, but it was 2,100 first up. But he was a Group 1 winner first up. So they've come all the way out here, and he's a striking animal. So if he sits off numbers and kicks off the turn, I still think Romantic Warrior, he's one of the world's best horses. He's going to have to be at his peak to run him down and hold off Masquerade Ball.
The way I'm seeing it, right, is that Farb's no clown. He knows where to come, where to win here, right? But the thing is, we're in April. It's the start of the European turf season.
Yep.
He's thinking, well, Sosi's done it here. We go well in Hong Kong, enjoy it. We're going to pick up some really good prize money before we kick on for the European turf campaign. Yep. I personally don't think he's here to win.
Well, third is 3.5 million Hong Kong.
Well, that'll do. That'll pay for the flight.
Yeah, a bit more than that as well. So you're with the Warrior in this.
I'm actually. I don't. Am I with the Warrior? Am I with Masquerade Ball? I don't know. What I do think I know is that Royal Champion's going to finish ahead of Sosi.
Okay, all right. So if we could find a head-to-head market somewhere, that's where you'd be going.
If you could,
maybe it's with the tiers here. It's 1 and 2 to run 1, 2, and then Royal Champion.
I think play the tiers and roll Royal Champion in with the other two. Hopefully Sosi, probably bombs out, and maybe there's a bit of value there.
So we know a bit about Royal Champion because he ran in Australia had a couple of starts, had a cup of coffee, and then nicked off back home.
He did.
Yeah, he took off this morning.
Yeah.
He's feeling himself, shall we say.
He's a quirky lad, isn't he?
He melted in Australia in the yard.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's a bit of a nutcase.
Yeah.
Right, well...
So that'll be interesting. I want to see these horses in the yard before I come charging in, because Masquerade Ball could come in there and melt on Sunday, for example, as well.
Yeah, he has a bit of an unhinged thing going on there in the head. The 2 things I like about him. Yep. He's a proper mile 2 horse, right? Is he a star Group 1 mile 2 horse? No. Is he a good, strong, talented group horse at mile 2? Yes. Is Carl Burke becoming one of the great trainers in Britain at the moment? Yes. I went to his yard earlier last year, and I said, have you got a horse that would go to Hong Kong or something, thinking ahead? And he was like, I've been thinking about this for a while, Royal Champion.
Okay.
This has been on the map for a fairly long time, and I think he'll be revved up for it.
Yeah, and rock hard fit, obviously coming off the Group 1 win last start, whereas a few of these having their first runs of the season. We haven't mentioned Giovanni as well. Jason Collett takes the ride as well. Found out this morning that the trainer of Giovanni, leading trainer in Japan this season, so he's no mug, wants to travel his horses around the world as well. And Jun Tak, we thought we had a bit of a vet issue yesterday, but he's all clear, he's ready to go, and their form just looks the level below.
Yeah, I mean, June Tak, his form is very much Group 2s and only place getting there as well. And like you say, maybe the vet concern, it's not gone perfectly swimmingly for him, so I'd probably leave him out. Giovanni's the potential improver, right? But I personally don't know enough there to put it on the line and say he's going to be in the mix like I do with World Champion.
It'll be interesting to see what Collett does from 8 of 8. I think he might have to roll forwards. His best run was last year in the 2,000 Guineas when he sat on speed. But anyway, that is the QE2 Cup. I think we've dissected it every which way. I'm a sicko. I'm going to back Masquerade Ball to knock off the champ. I might not get out of here if he wins.
That's the hard thing.
Yeah.
I would back him as well, but do I want to? You know, it's
Yeah.
heart and
Do you wanna
head. And I
publicly
kind of
say
want to
it
cheer
too?
Romantic Warrior on, but, you know, do you want to be the guy who's cheering Masquerade Ball on when he runs him down?
Yeah.
Not sure. Anyway, do that trifecta, Tiz, you know, with Royal Champion in there.
Of course, as said, races 5, 7 and 9 this weekend are World Pool races here at Sha Tin. Plenty of action coming your way. The full preview will be up for Sha Tin on Sunday across Punters on Sunday morning as well. But a lot of content coming your way as well across both Punters and RaceNet. You can also go check out the Punter podcast.
You can.
You've kind of stolen the name there, mate. But your latest episode I just saw is up and away now.
Will be later today, and we've got Andrea Azzini and Zach Burton speaking just to me here at Track Work. A few nuggets from him. In fact, Andrea gave us one outside of the group races as well. So plenty to like on the Punter Pod. Thanks for the plug.
Too easy. We'll catch you next time on the World Pool Preview.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.